it's going very fast. Oh gosh. Okay. Already we're taking off. I don't really know what's going on here. And when this keeps going on and on and on, we're going to run into some pretty big confusions, because watching billions of lights going down a screen is not going to be the way that we are going to make it in this instrument. It's like Guitar Hero level 5 million. And what do we all do when we try and do this, right? We slow it down to 5-10%, and we sit there and we spend weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks memorizing one song. And it's painful and it takes forever. And in the end, you know one song and it wasn't fun. So how much do you feel like doing that again? Not really. And are you ever going to get to this point where you can just sit and express yourself and play with freedom and full understanding? No, obviously not. We're learning a party trick with no understanding and it's taking forever. So that's not going to be the way. So maybe at that point we go, okay, let's go and get lessons. We're going to get lessons and we're going to do this properly. And when we do, we're going to arrive there and we're going to see something that looks like this. Welcome to music school. This is what we're going to be confronted with. Now, how many people have had this experience? Like when I first showed up for lessons, if I'm at 0, I'm going to look down and be like, well, I don't speak Egyptian hieroglyphics. I don't really know what's going on here. And the same thing happens. The teacher starts moving your hands around. They start having all this complicated theory. It gets a little overwhelming. You get given all this homework. You go away. You kind of practice it wrong. You forget half the lesson. You go back. You start kind of, you find out you did it wrong. You have more confusion and more stuff. And there's $100 and there's another $100 and there's another $100. And this keeps going on until eventually 97% of people quit. And they're the statistics. And you can kind of see why. This is over-disciplined, over-theorized, completely sucking the joy out of music and replacing it with this over-complicated thing. And I know that because I went through that. And I don't use 90% of the stuff that I spent almost 20 years learning. Like I go around the world doing this for a living. I've played with thousands of other musicians. 90% of what I was learning in those classes is completely not used. So that's not going to be the way either. So what is the way that we're going to do this? Well, we're going to be doing something which I developed, and it's called the Ridley method. And this is something now where over 15,000 people have unlocked their musical ability in over 40 countries using this. And I'm going to show it you right now. Now, let's start with, well, if I play something level 10, so before I was playing this thing. Now, if you're sitting there right now, how many people, let me know in the chat, how many people, when you're sitting and looking at that, think that looks really complicated? Give me a big yes in the comments. If you're looking at that and you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh, that looks a little bit complicated. Right. Okay, good. Yes, good. Well, this is the first thing that I want to share. And this is really what is underpinning this whole new method. There is a philosophical truth, and I'm going to share that with you now. The illusion of complexity. So that thing that I just did, it looks really confusing, right? The illusion of complexity is created by doing many simple things at once. Let's just break that down. It's very important. If you're taking notes, this is one to write down. The illusion of complexity, meaning the magic trick of something looking very complicated, is created. How? It's created by doing many simple things at the same time. Okay. Why is that important? Well, that's important because that's the clue in how we master this instrument. Because what the Ridley method is it's taking those simple things and it's breaking them down into a very specific order. And then we just focus on one tiny, simple thing. And we focus on just mastering that one tiny, simple thing. And then we go on to the next thing. And we master that one tiny, simple thing. And then we go on to the next thing. Now, the reason that this is so crucial, and we start bringing it together, piece by piece by piece, we start bringing it together. The reason it's so important to do it this way is we come up with something which is fast because This requires 10 minutes practice per day. Why does it require 10 minutes practice per day? Because we're only focusing on one simple thing. We don't need to sit there hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. We're focusing on one tiny simple thing. So it's 10 minutes practice a day. It's easy because you're focusing on one simple thing. And most importantly, it is fun. And the reason it's fun is think about any subject you've ever enjoyed. You were good at it. You were making progress. In fact, if you look at the word motivation, it comes from the Latin word motare, which means to move. When you're motivated, you're moving. When you're making progress, you're moving. So having something where every single time you sit down, you make that little inch of progress, it gets you in motion. How many people here have struggled with motivation in the past when trying to learn this instrument, right? Me too, when I was going that way. And what do? You put discipline and force and it's horrible. And why do you need all of that? Because you're not moving. You're not motivated because you're not moving. So having something where simple baby step at a time, we get into motion, that creates progress, that creates motivation, that creates fun, because this subject by its very nature is fun. Now, rather than theorize anymore, I want to show you this in reality. So let's say we're coming to this instrument and we're at absolute zero. We're sitting there and we don't know anything about piano. Where do we even begin? Well, where we're going to begin is with two fingers, and it doesn't matter which two, because check this out. Pretty much any song can be played with just two fingers. Now, it might be this. It could be. And in this case, we're going to be doing Inception, and two fingers is going to sound like this. Now, we're not going to be winning any Grammys just yet, but it does get us started, and it gets us started in 2 days, because learning how to play with two fingers is going to take about 2 days, or 10 minutes practice per day times 2. Great. So what's the next thing that we're going to add? The next thing we're going to add is simply one more finger. It doesn't matter which. I'm going to use this one. And when we add one finger, we get something that sounds like this. Now, again, we're not going to be winning any Grammys just yet, but adding one finger takes another 2 days of 10 minutes practice per day. And so we're in motion. And so what's the next thing that we're going to add? The next thing we're going to need to add is the pedal. Now, if you're taking notes, write this down. If you want to make any song sound instantly better right now, simply add pedal. Now, what do I mean by this? Here is a pedal. I'm using a keyboard right here. And this is the one that just plugs into the back of it. If you're using a piano, it's going to be the one that's on the right-hand side of the piano. And what's so cool about this? Well, if I don't press the pedal, it sounds like this. And if I do press the pedal, it sounds like this. It keeps on going until I let go. Now, why is that so cool? That's so cool because when we start using the pedal in our music, we get this thing that joins together. And we can start creating something that it's got a bit more majesty. It's got a bit more magic. And this is something you can write down. If you want to put something that's a bit smoother and a bit more musical into your music, start using the pedal. And when you do, you're going to get something that sounds like this. So the only thing I'm doing now, same as before, just adding pedal. And it's going to be like this. You see that difference? So let's apply this. Oh, we're starting to get somewhere. Now, learning how to use a pedal takes about 3 days of 10 minutes practice per day. And again, every time you're sitting down, there's some progress being made. This is getting good. So what's the next thing we're going to need to learn? Well, the next thing we're going to learn is some notes that fit. For any piece of music, there are some notes which fit and there are some notes which don't. Now, we can get very theoretical about this. And in the traditional school of music, there's so much theory about this. But you actually have a perfect sense of which notes fit and which notes don't. So let me just demonstrate that to you. If I play this, I want you to write in the comments, does this note sound like it fits or not? Yeah, right? What about this one? Right? What about this one? Probably not, right? What about this one? Oh, nice. What about this one? Nope. And what about this one? Beautiful. Now, the Greeks had a word for this. They called it harmonia, which meant agreement. It's where we get the word harmony from. When we say people are in harmony, they're agreeing, they're getting along. And it's the same with notes. When they sound like they belong together, we say they're in harmony. And you already have a very, very, very good sense of harmony. So the next thing that we would be learning is, what are the notes that fit? And then we're going to be randomly playing those with any old finger. I'm just going to use this finger. We're just going to press them at random. So we have some notes that fit. We press them at random. And when we do that, when we add that, it's going to sound like this. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere. We're starting to add our own flair. Now, learning to add the notes that fit is going to take about 2 to 3 weeks of 10 minutes practice per day. And again, every time you're sitting with this, you're improving, you're improving. It's simple, it's fast. What is the next thing we're going to add? The next thing we're going to add is finger work. What am I talking about? What's finger work? Well, finger work answers this single question. We have 88 notes on here and I only have 10 fingers. How do I play fast and smooth? Right? How do I do these? Like, I only have 10 fingers. How am I able to do that? Well, I'm able to do it by the way that I twist and turn and use my hand. And we're going to come into this in secret number 2 today in about 10 minutes. And I'm going to be showing you how you fix your hand and finger problems forever. But for right now, all we need to know is finger work answers this one question. We need to get from here to here. And so far, we've been doing it like this. And it's clumsy and horrible. With finger work, with twisting and turning and moving our hands like a piano player, it's going to sound like this. And you sound like an octopus. You sound like you got a million fingers because you're knowing how to twist and turn and use your hands. So that's going to be the next step. And again, we're going to come into this in detail in secret number 2. Now, if we add finger work, so we've got the notes that fit, we're going to play them randomly, but now we're going to play them with some finger work. It's going to sound something like this. Sounding pretty good, right? We're starting to get somewhere. Now, as you're going to learn in secret 2, developing finger work takes about 3 weeks of 10 minutes practice per day when it's the only thing you're focusing on. So we get that. That's amazing. What's the next thing we're going to do? Because we want to get to level 10. Well, the next thing we're going to need to add is this very complicated sounding thing. Expanded chords. What? What am I talking about? All this music intelligentsia. Expanded chords, it's really big fancy words, which means something really simple, as always. Okay, so what is a chord? A chord is more than one note played at the same time. Here's a note. Here's another note. Here's another note. Good. If I play more than one note at the same time, we have a chord. And as you can see, we've actually been playing a chord since the very beginning. Pretty cool. So what's an expanded chord? Well, a chord is more than one note at the same time. It can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 6, and so on. So an expanded chord is simply where you add more notes at the same time. That's all it means. Now, here's another great tip if you're taking notes. If you want to instantly make your music sound more powerful, take up more space, simply use expanded chords. Simply add more notes at the same time. And when we do, it's going to sound something like this. So the only thing I'm adding now is some expanded chords. And it's going to sound like... Oh, baby! We're starting to get somewhere, right? Huh? Now, expanded chords, that's going to take around 4 to 5 weeks of 10 minutes practice per day. But every single day you're sitting down, you're getting better, you're getting better, you're getting better, you're getting better. So this thing's starting to become addictive. This music's really starting to sound good. This becomes fun. And understand something, when we're going through this, when we're going through these steps, we're not memorizing lights going down a screen. We're not memorizing anything. We're understanding how to do something. And when you know how to do this, you can do it on any song, not just one song. When you know how to use the pedal, you can do that on any song. When you know how to do finger work, you can do that on any song. When you know how to build expanded chords, you can do that on every song. So we're learning the skills that allow us to play any song. Make sense? Good. So what's going to be next? The next thing we're going to need to know is rhythm. I love this word. It just sounds good. What is rhythm? Well, rhythm is the way the music moves. It's the way it moves us. And so far, we've been playing everything on the beat. Okay, so what is a beat? A beat is this recurring pulse that goes through the music. We can count it. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so far, we've been playing everything on that beat. We've been going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. Now we need to jazz that up a little bit. We need to add some spice. We need to add some of this. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of tips you can use right now with rhythm. Because so far, having everything on the beat, it just makes it feel a little bit robotic and mundane. So what we can do here is we're going to add some extra notes, some of those notes that fit. And we're going to put some before the beat, and we're going to put some after the beat. And the coolest part of this is it doesn't really matter exactly where you put them. As long as there's some before and there's some after, it's going to create this push and this pull. And rather than trying to intellectually describe that, I'm just going to show you. So now when you're listening, the only thing I'm adding is going to be some of these rhythm notes in between the beats randomly. And it's going to sound like this. We're starting to get somewhere, huh? Now, learning rhythm is actually the most time-consuming piece of all of this. It's going to take about 5 or 6 weeks of 10 minutes practice per day. But every day you're going to be improving. Again, every day this is progress. It's simple. It's fast. It's 10 minutes a day, improving, 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 improving. Now, at this point, we've kind of got to what I would say is probably about level 8. I mean, this is good. You could come on tour with me. I could put you on the stage with me for sure at this point. But I didn't come here to make no level 8s today. I came here because I want to make 10. And I want to show you how you get to 10. Now, what is 10? At this point, we have to ask that question. What do I even mean when I'm talking about level 10? Well, level 10 for me is the difference between a music student and an artist. Now, let me ask you guys a question and let me know in the comments. How many of you have had this experience where you see someone and they're very, very good. They're technically very good. They've got the good rhythm and they've got the good finger work and they're playing the right notes and they're doing all of it right, but you just don't feel anything. I'm talking about this. It's just a bit wooden. Like, you can tell, I'm like, wow, he's doing it correctly, but it just feels wooden. What's actually causing that is they're memorizing. They've learned with these traditional methods or any other method, because they all work the same, of just memorizing. It's not in there. They're not the ones expressing it. They're just memorizing something. And that's a music student today in this universe. And it's the difference between that and this. Now that is a big difference. In that, there's no thinking. It's emotion. I'm expressing myself and it sounds like me. And that's an artist. It's someone who can express their individuality in a way which creates emotional impact. Now, how do we get there? Well, I want to give you a couple of tips that you can use right now. I want you to remember this, and I want you to remember this. What am I talking about? Well, this is about timing. See, when I speak, I don't just say everything at the same timing, because if I do, I will sound like a robot. No, when you speak, you say some things slow and you say some things fast, and you say some things slow and you say some things fast. And you do this already. This is how you speak. So when you do that in your music is going to start to speak. Pretty cool. The next thing is this. This is volume. See, when I speak, I don't just speak at the same volume, because if I do, I sound like I'm teaching geography. Hello, would you like to learn about the Brecon Beacons today? I have no friends. Yeah, that's not how we speak. When you speak, you say some things quietly and you say some things loud. And you know what that creates. You know when you're loud, it gets attention. You know when you're quiet, it pulls people in. We already know that, right? You already know when you want to be intimate, you speak quietly. When you want to be big and bold, you speak. So if we do that in our music, if we start doing that in our music, when we want it to be intimate, we play quiet. When we want it to be expressive and command attention, we're loud. If you just do what you already do when you speak, then your music is going to speak. It's going to sound like you. It's going to be expressive. It's going to have your voice. So we're going to put a bit of this and a bit of this into what we were just doing. And let's bring this to level 10. Now that's level 10. And that's the beauty of this Ridley method. Everything that we're doing here, it's one baby step at a time. And in the end, we come to something which looks very, 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 very complicated. But by breaking this down and focusing on one simple thing every day, one simple 10-minute practice, one after one after one, just laying a brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. And soon we have the cathedral. Now, there's a couple of benefits to this. First, it's fast, fun, and simple. There is no other way of learning that is. And that's what's needed. But cooler than that is we are not learning, and I said this before, I'm going to restate it. We're not learning one song. We're learning how to play piano. We're learning how to use this instrument so that we can play any song. So when you're at level 0 and you're learning how to play songs with 2 fingers, well, then you're here. But you're also... And you're also, right? When you get up and you're at level 5, you're going to be. You're also going to be. You're also going to be. And when you get to level 10, you're going to be. You're also going to be. And you're also going to be... And that is the magic of this. Is that making sense? Now, you may be sitting there right now and you may be thinking, this all sounds way too good to be true. This is impossible. There's no way. There's no way. I want to tell you a story. And it's a beautiful, true story between me and one of my best friends, Oliver. So Ollie is a guy I've grown up with, and he's a video editor. And when I was trying to figure out these steps and put them in order, it was not easy. I failed and failed. And I realized, look, music education hasn't been changed in 600 years. They're using Latin and Italian and the same squiggles and overcomplicated theories. In fact, it's just got worse and worse over time. But nobody's done this. So when I come to it, I realized that this step-by-step way, as I was building these steps, I realized a bunch of steps were missing. Some steps were in the wrong order. Some of it was all jumbled up. And I went through this whole journey to get a perfect step-by-step thing that anybody can go through. And when I finally figured that out, some 9 years later, I sat with my buddy Ollie and I was very nervous I would forget any of it. I'd written it all down, but still. And I was like, dude, I want to record all of this. So we took this amazing music studio and an amazing piano, and we recorded every single baby step from 0 to 10. And at the end of that, we had to edit all the videos. And we did that. He came over to my place in London and we sat at my kitchen table and there was 2 computers. And from morning till night, we just edited videos. And this got into this kind of routine. And in the middle of the morning, I go out and I get us coffees. So after about 2 weeks of doing this, it's about 10:30 in the morning and I'm coming back and I've got the coffees and the croissants. And you have had that feeling like, oh, something's different. And I'm walking into my house and something's different. And then I realize I can hear my piano has been played. And I walk into my living room and Ollie is sitting at my piano playing my piano. And I was like, dude, what? And that was one of the most beautiful things I've seen. This is a guy who's never played music. And in 2 weeks, he'd gone from not playing to playing. I actually brought a video of him playing. Let me just show you this. This is Ollie. Not from the head. Now, this is a dude who's never had lessons. By the way, you can see him he's on Instagram now, called Ollie Matthews Music, which is crazy to me. And but the magic of this and the reason I'm sharing that story is this is a guy who had no musical experience. And I asked him, like, what the hell? And he said, just by watching these videos, because it was step by step, because it was just one thing at a time, super simple, just by going along with that and watching it, in 2 weeks, he got to a point where he understood and could play. That was really the first kind of whoa moment. And this goes on and on. We've now got over 15,000 people with the same story. We have Kawai Lee. Kawai's, I mean, everyone's got a slightly different version of it, but it's kind of the same thing. Like Kawai, she's another amazing story. She failed music class at school. She got kicked out of music class. She couldn't tell the difference between 2 songs. It got so bad she used to avoid going to school because she was embarrassed about it. But deep down, she wanted to play piano. She wanted to be a musician. And she came to my concert one time. That's me and her in Dubai. And after the show, she came up and she said what everybody says. And, oh, my God, you know, I really want to do that. And I said, look, you can go through this. And I told her about the Ridley method. She goes through the Ridley method. And in 4 months, she went from 0 to playing all of her favorite music. She loves classical music. So she's playing Chopin and River Flows in You and all these beautiful, beautiful songs in 4 months. This is a girl who'd been considered a music failure, who her teacher had told her, there's no way, you can't do it. You've not got a musical ear. You're tone deaf. And she got all of these reasons why there's no way she could ever do it. But really what she needed was just the right steps in the right order, just one simple thing at a time, and step by step by step. That's how we get there. Each step very, very simple. We have Eric Janssen. This is another amazing story. And he says here, I went from no knowledge to sight reading and a comprehensive understanding in 4 months. This is a dude who for 7 years was sitting online trying to fumble around, wasting thousands of hours. He was basically got himself very confused on YouTube and trying a bunch of different stuff. And I found him, and the same thing, he comes out to me after a show, and now he knows I don't know how to do it because he's tried and failed so many times. And it's like, look, dude, just go through this. I promise this is it. And 4 months, he goes from nothing, as he says here, to sight reading. That's picking up a piece of sheet music, reading it and playing. Sheet music is the stuff with all the squiggles on it. And a comprehensive understanding. That's incredible, right? Now, I actually brought a video of him as well. Let me show you this. This is Eric. 1 sec. With the rhythm section. Again, not in the head. Got me 10 feet off the ground. That's what I'm talking about. That's a dude who for 7 years has been struggling. Why has he been struggling? Because he just needed the right steps in the right order. He got confused because he's just learning things at random from here and there, and stuff's clumpled together and none of it makes sense and it's not laid out. And this is why 97% of people fail. So what I'm trying to show you with this is simply this. It's not normal to spend years and years and years struggling and fumbling and getting nowhere. It's not normal. You think it's normal because that's all that's available. That's what's happening when you're going to traditional lessons. That's what's happening when you're trying apps and YouTube is all of this stuff's jumbled up and it's in the wrong order and it's too much and steps are missing and it's just a confusion. And so you go there and you end up confused, right? But the point of Secret One is you can start learning within weeks by just following this easy step-by-step method. And we create that illusion of complexity, one simple thing at a time. Does that make sense? Very, 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 very good. Thank you. And so this takes us to Secret 2. Now, Secret 2, in Secret 2, I'm going to be fixing all your hand and finger problems for good. So how many of you have stumbled and fumbled in the past? How many of you are a little bit clumsy on this instrument? In fact, why don't you tell me, what is the exact things that you run into when you're trying to play piano? What is it that happens? Do you get stiff fingers, bad coordination, synchronization? What is it that you run into? Let me know in the comments. Because what I'm going to be doing in this secret is I want to take one of those steps that I was talking about before, and we're going to dive right into it. And we're going to be diving into your hands. I'm going to be showing you how we fix this stuff. This is something which has been missing in all music education. So I can see here, look, the comments are incredible. So coordination, finding the right notes, synchronization cramps is a very, very common one. Using two hands, that's what's called synchronization. This is good. So we're going to fix all of that. Now, first we got to do some cleaning. So be very honest with me and let me know in the comments, how many people here are thinking, look, even with this perfect method, there is no way I'm going to be able to make it because I'm not talented enough. I'm too old. I should have started when I was younger. I'm not smart enough. My hands are too small, or I have some physical disability, or I tried in the past and I failed and so learned that I can't do it. Or, I mean, any of these self-limiting things, all of these statements are basically statements of what I call anti-confidence. Alexis, Sorin, Tyler, thank you for your honesty. Yashi, Anthony. Cool. Well, look, we're going to be handling that because the first thing I've got to tell you is there is nothing wrong with you. You are going through what everybody goes through when they're using techniques which don't work, when they're using teachers who are using these techniques that don't work. So I'm going to show you how this works because all of these statements right here are all statements that there's something wrong with you. I'm not talented enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too this. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. I'm going to show you how this works. Now, just so you know, I've done seminars and classes to around 900,000 people around the planet. And I'm taking hands and fingers as an example because this is something I've observed over and over and over. Like 99% of people have a problem with this. And the reason is very obvious, and you're about to find out why. Now, let's just look at what this anti-confidence thing is. You come in on day one and you want to learn piano. It's amazing. And then number two, you start using this method or this teacher that doesn't really work. So what's going to happen? Well, you start struggling. That's point 3. And you keep on going, but then you keep on struggling, right? And then you're going to go to point number 5, eventually, where you start thinking there must be something wrong with me because I'm going to all these lessons and I'm not really making any progress and I'm fumbling and I don't sound very good. And look at all these people on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and they're all playing so great and I can't play and there must be something wrong with me. And you start to fill in that gap with I'm too old, I'm this, I'm that, I'm not smart enough for this, my hands, blah, blah, blah. And this is going to keep going until eventually you reach point 6. And I've seen this many times. And this is where you don't believe in yourself anymore. This is the graveyard of dreams. This is the death of a being right here, where they no longer believe in their dreams. You're as alive as you have dreams and goals. Now, luckily, I can fix this very, very easily. And we're going to fix it by fixing point number 2. I'm going to turn this into a confidence cycle. This is how it should be. You come in day 1. I want to learn piano. Awesome. Come on board. Number 2, we're going to start using a method that works, and step by step, every day, progress. So what's going to happen? Point 3, you're going to start winning. You're going to keep on going. You're going to keep on winning. That's point 4. Point 5, you're going to start thinking, there's something pretty right about me. I'm pretty damn good. Look at this. I'm doing all right. And you're going to keep going. You're going to keep on winning. And eventually you're going to hit point 6, where you achieve confidence in yourself as an artist. That's how it should be. Right? Does that make sense? Now, I'm going to take hand and finger problems as an example because, as I said, 99% of the people that I've been in front of have these problems. And they've had them for so long, they start to believe there's something wrong with them. They need special piano hands or some kind of coordination they can't do, or they come up with all kinds of explanations. So we're going to take this as an example and we're going to blow this apart. Now, these are the different problems that people have. And let me know in the comments, have you ever ran into some of these? I must be a mind reader because this is what you were just writing. Left hand synchronization. That's playing at the same time. Independent finger control. That's that. Inability to reach far notes. Inability to move fingers fast. That's that. Inability to move many fingers at the same time. Very, 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 very common. So if you found yourself in this position, you're not alone. You're actually in the majority of everyone. And the reason is because you were missing the solution. What is the solution? The solution is hand yoga. What's hand yoga? Guessing you never heard of it, right? Right, because this is one of these steps when I was building these steps to become level 10. This was a step that was completely missing in music education. So what is it? It's a series of 20 exercises that overcome any finger and hand problem. Now, the beauty of these is they take a few minutes a day. You don't need a piano to do them. You can do them anywhere, while you're sitting on the sofa, walking down the street, sitting at the toilet, when you're at work. And rather than theoretically describe these, again, I want to bring them to life. So I'm going to be showing you some hand yoga. In fact, we're actually going to do some together right now. Here's the participation bit. So that's right. Here we go. So what I'm going to want you to do is follow along with me. And this exercise is one that's going to build up our independent finger control. That's moving one finger at a time. Because when we're on piano, we need to do that. In life, we tend to use our hands in this gripping motion. But now we're going to build up some independent finger control. So let's do it. Lift up your left arm. Get your right hand and place it on top. And you're going to follow along with me. One finger at a time. Pinky finger up. Thank you. And down. Middle finger up. Thank you. And down. Ring finger up. Thank you. And down. Pointer finger up. Very, very good. And down. Middle finger up. Very good. And down. Thumb up. Nice. And down. How did you do? Let me know in the comments. Now, also, try the next arm. So pick up your right arm and do the same thing with that hand. Now, notice one thing about this exercise. We're not going one finger at a time like this. We're bouncing between the fingers. We're bouncing around. And the reason is very important. When you're playing songs, they don't really go like... They don't just go 1, 2... Like, they bounce around a lot. You see? So when we're practicing this, we want to bounce between the fingers in the exercise. Okay, I can see in the comments, stiff ring finger, very, very, very common. We have a stiff pointer. We have not as easy as it looks, says Monica. Yeah, well, look, it's day 1 in the gym right now. We've done our first set of sit-ups, and you're not going to have a six-pack just yet. But unlike the gym, we're not building muscle here. When you're in the gym, you're ripping muscle and then you have to build it. And it's a very lengthy process. We're not building muscle here. We're building coordination. And coordination is very, very, very fast to build up, Monica. So how fast? Well, I'm going to show you how fast it develops because I'm going to be setting you guys some homework today. I bet it's a long time since you've had homework, some of you. Well, I'm going to be setting you some homework. And the homework goes like this. It's very, very easy. I want you to do this exercise that I just showed you. And I want you to do this 3 times per day for 3 days. And just watch what happens. You're going to see how fast you can build coordination. Now, let's just look at how long this is going to take. So that was about 3 seconds. Now, let's say you're really slow and you're taking your time, you're just building up. So maybe it's going to take you 30 seconds to do it once. Okay, so that's 30 seconds on one hand and 30 seconds on another hand. That's 1 minute. And you're going to do it 3 times a day. So that's 3 minutes. Now, you can do this on a table. You can do this on your leg. You can do this in your pockets while you're walking down the street. There's no limit to how many times you can do this, but I want you to do it 3 times per day. If you're going to do that, give me a big yes in the comments. And I want you to look at the difference that this makes. In 3 days, you're going to see just how fast coordination can build. Your hands are going to start moving more like a piano player. Now, what do you think happens when I put you back on the piano? Easier or harder, right? Now, this is just one exercise. There's 20 of these. But we're going to start with this one. I'm going to get you winning. And this is what we're going to be doing. Now, the truth is that the reason that you are not improving on piano, the reason that people get stuck at this level on piano, the reason that they take so long to learn piano is because so many of these steps are missing. So many of the steps are jumbled and crumpled together. So many of the steps are absolutely overwhelmed by confusing theory. Now, let's take let's take the example of building up your hands with hand yoga. If you just keep trying to learn song after song after song after song without addressing this, you're not going to improve, right? Just randomly playing song after song after song is not going to cause you to improve. What's going to cause you to improve is to address the very specific thing that is holding you back. And then we move on to the next thing and we address that very specific thing. Does that make sense? By doing the right thing in the right order, you're never going to get stopped. But if you don't do that, you're never going to make progress. Just randomly trying to play without addressing these things in the right order, you're never going to get there. And that's why 97% of people quit, drop mic. Now, I'm going to tell you the story of how this came about, because maybe some of you are sitting here and you have some problems in your hands. Maybe some of you have some arthritis. Maybe, well, I want to tell you the guy who is responsible for me coming up with this. And it's one of my first students, and his name's Harold. Now, this is way, way, way before I'd ever even thought about Ridley Academy, and I'd thought about a Ridley method. And I was at university, and I was just paying my way through university teaching piano. And I had a real passion for music. I mean, I've had a passion for music all my life. And I just wanted to share it. And I was like, it was a passion. But I was stuck with this same method of teaching that every other teacher has. And I was seeing for myself this 97% fail rate. And it was horrible. It's the worst feeling in the world, because I want to, you want to do good, but something's going wrong. And I had this one student who I was very, very affectionate for, and his name's Harold, and he was 82 years of age, and he was an amazing guy. He'd been in World War II, and he'd flown airplanes. He was a mechanical engineer. He'd had this incredible life. But since he was 11 years old, he'd been trying and failing to learn the piano. And he tried everything. He'd had every teacher under the sun, and he's tried everything that you can do. And he'd become very, very convinced that there was something wrong with him and he couldn't play and blah, blah. And he was so defeated. And he came to me and I was like, I'm going to do this. And no matter what I was saying, he just couldn't do it. And then I looked one day and I realized that his hands couldn't move like a piano player's hands. And I'm talking to him about this other stuff, but he can't even move his hands like a piano player. And I was like, hold on a minute. I'm overwhelming this guy. And I looked at his hands, had very bad arthritis. So I decided, I saw something in this moment. And the realization was this, that for all of the ages, music has become increasingly complicated. The subjects got more and more complicated. Why? Because teachers and the traditional schools look at this situation and they think, oh, we need to give you some more complexity, some more theory, some more confusion, some more of this, some more of this. And they add, and it overwhelms people. But what I saw is that the solution actually comes in simplifying the thing. So I took his hands off the piano. We're not even going to touch the piano. I'm just going to work on building up your fingers. And true story, by the way, arthritis is just a calcification of the joints. So with some vitamin D, some K2, and these very specific exercises that I came up with, we start to improve his hands. And in 3 weeks, he could move his hands like a piano player. And then I put him back on the piano. And how do you think he sounds? This guy just rockets. Suddenly, he doesn't look so stupid anymore. Suddenly, oh yeah, I can do it. So now I can go on to the next thing and tell him the next thing. And this was really the birth of what has become hand yoga. This was the birth of me thinking about a new way of teaching this subject. So this is a really, really big guy in my life. But the point of this story is just a dude who'd been absolutely failing for 70 years of his life, who believed he's too old to learn piano, who believed there's no hope for him, who'd have every kind of failure you can have in this subject. Even he was able to play in 4 weeks, by the way, in 4 weeks, by fixing the one thing that was holding him back. That's the importance of going through these steps in the right order and doing the right steps at the right time. I have so many of these stories. We have the mum. This is a beautiful story. Again, it's kind of emotional for me, but there's a lady, she's called Kirsty. She comes from Dallas, and her dream was to be in musicals. And when she was 19 years of age, she moves to New York, and I'm going to be in musicals. And she'd gone to this audition, and they said her piano playing wasn't good enough, and she got rejected. And so she went and got piano lessons, and it didn't go very well. The more lessons she had, the more confused she was getting. So she got another teacher, and then that got even worse. And after a year, this got so bad that she quit on the dream. She left New York. She goes back to Dallas. And then I meet her some 20 years later. And now she's a mom. She's got a couple of children. And life's good, but that dream died. And this anti-confidence cycle was in full force. She knows she can't do it. She doesn't believe in herself anymore. And I was like, look, you got to go through this. And I convinced her to go through this Ridley method. She goes, she gets to hand yoga. She goes through hand yoga, and boom, she explodes. She sends me this video crying. And that was the thing that had been holding her back all of her life from this stuff. She got through that in 5 weeks. It was so easy that her 5-year-old daughter went through this, and now she's playing too. Now, the point of that story is, again, just illustrating this is someone who tried and tried and tried and was getting nowhere. Why? Because they weren't looking at the right step. That's it. But they got this big idea they can't play, and they gave up on the dreams to change the whole life. And all they needed was the right step in the right order. Does that make sense? We have Gail de Cordova. Gail's probably the most amazing story. Because Gail's husband was a piano teacher for 40 years. And for 40 years, he was trying to teach her. They had this dream that they would sit together and they were going to play on the piano, and it's very romantic. And he was trying to teach her, and she was just failing and failing. And the more he tried, the more she fails. And she gets this idea that I'm just not talented. In fact, she had every idea under the sun. I'm not talented enough. There's something wrong with my hands. I'm too old. I should have started when I was younger, blah, 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 blah. And her husband died, and I met her shortly after, and she told me this story, and I was very moved. And I again, she came through. She did this Ridley method, and again, for her, it was this hand yoga. It was just a step that had been missing for her. So she goes through, she does the hand yoga. Suddenly, I can move my hand. This other thing, bam, bam, bam. She starts being able to just race through the next things. You only get stuck at a place when the step's missing. When you've not conquered it, you're going to stick there. Well, I got her through it, and then bam, 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 bam. And in 4 weeks, she went from someone who's not been able to play for 40 years, who was convinced she'll never be able to play. Oh my God, I'm never going to be. In 4 weeks, she goes from that to not only playing, she wrote her own song. She didn't only write her own song, she went and played it in front of 200 people at her husband's memorial, his 1,000-day memorial. It's the most incredible story. And the point of this, again, is just showing you that even a husband's love, like 40 years of perseverance, wasn't able to get around one basic fact. You need the right steps in the right order. And with them, it's 4 weeks, and bang, there's a life goal achieved. So what I'm trying to show you in this, the conclusion that I'm trying to give is there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your hands. Your lack of confidence simply comes from using bad methods, bad teachers, missing steps. But what you actually need to make it in this is simply just the right steps in the right order, and you can overcome all of your problems. Does that make sense? It's a big, big, big thing there. There is nothing wrong with you, and you can do this. Good. Sorry, you got a little deep there, right? Now, at this point, we come to the best part of all. At this point, we come to the breakthrough that took me about 25 years to come up with, and I'm going to be sharing this with you right now. Just so you know, what I'm about to give you in the next 10 minutes took me about 50,000 hours to come up with. So pay attention. I'm going to have a cup of tea for this. I'm going to get myself ready. By the way, if you were wondering, I'm definitely English. Wonderful. So let me ask you guys this question, and let me know in the comments. how many people here, in fact, answer me this. How long does it currently take you to learn a song from 0 to very, very good? To learn a song like 10 from nothing. How long would that take you to learn one song? Let me know in the comments. Susan, is it Earl Grey? No, I've actually not got Earl Grey. This is it's very, very fancy. It's called Throat Coat. It's a tea they have in America. It's really, really nice. Okay, look at these comments. 100 years, says Laura. 5 months, says Alexander. 100 hours. A year, says Alessandro. 30 years, says Lena. A lifetime. I mean, look at these comments. This is really revealing. 5 months, 6 months, a year, my lifetime. You guys, you're going to love this. You're going to love what's about to come. Oh, boy. All right, good. Well, let's just look where we're at so far. So far we've learned we need the right method with the right learning curve and no missing steps. We've learned there's nothing wrong with you. Feels good, right? You just haven't been taught the right things. And so there's one more thing that I need to handle for you to be able to really make it in this instrument. And it's actually time, believe it or not. Now, let's just look at this. And again, please let me know in the comments. How many people here think, I'm too busy to learn piano? I hear this probably more than anything. It's probably the number one thing I hear. The number one kind of issue. I just don't have time right now to learn. Like one day I'm going to start learning. You know, like when I mean, people say when I retire I'll learn. When I have kids, when my kids are 5, when my kids go to school, when my kids graduate, when they leave home, when I get the job, when I get the promotion, when I buy a house, when I sell the house, when I retire, and then it's too late. So I hear this a lot. I hear, oh, you know, one day I'll learn to play piano. One day I'll learn to play piano. Suzette says, literally me. I'll bet I'm way too busy. There we go. Like, look, this is good. Life is busy. I'm working all the time. Well, I'm going to point out a couple of things right there. Well, first, of course you don't have time. You've not made time for it yet. Like, you fill your schedule. That's what people do. So, of course, you're not going to have room in your schedule because nobody just sits there doing nothing for like 10 minutes every day. Oh, yeah, I could just put it there. Of course not. Like, we don't do that. We fill our schedules naturally. But something even cooler than that. You're thinking about this the wrong way. And what I'm about to share with you is so simple. It's so simple, but it changes everything. So I'm going to take you on a journey. Come with me. Now, time is not the real problem. You think you need a lot of time to learn piano right now. Now, the problem is not time. Look in the comments. The problem is this. You think you need a lot of time to learn. The problem is it's taking you 6 months to learn a song. It's taking some people a lifetime, taking some people years to learn a song. Look, when it's taking you years to learn one song, now time's a problem. When it's taking you months to get somewhere on this, now time's a problem. But what you don't need is more time. What you need is a way to learn songs faster. Because, let me just illustrate this. If I said to you, look, I can show you how to play a song. I'm going to teach you how you play a song, and it's going to take 10 minutes per day for 3 days. Everybody who just said they're too busy, can you give me 10 minutes a day for 3 days? And you're going to be playing a song at the end of it. Of course you can. We spend that much time on the toilet. Probably more. Right? Like, I probably spend an hour on social media every day. Of course we have time. Of course, 10 minutes, yeah. So can you see time is not the problem here. The problem is it's taking so damn long to learn songs. So that's what we're going to fix in this secret. Are we getting excited? Are we starting to get this? Right? Now, how do we actually do that? Well, I'm going to tell you a very, very cool story. I was sitting at the piano, and I was playing song after song after song. I'm sitting. I'm sitting doing the... I was sitting... I was sitting there doing the... was sitting there doing... and on and on and on, and I'm losing myself in this song after song after song after song after song, and I realized something very, 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 very big. And it was that all of these songs had something in common. That's it. Let's call that a secret pattern. It's something that all the songs have in common. And I kept on playing songs, and I kept finding these secret patterns. I kept finding things that these songs have in common. Now, why is that cool? It's not just cool, it's a breakthrough. Because if I show you this simple pattern, you unlock all of those songs. Now, this is very theoretical, so let's just actually demonstrate this. We're going to take the 4-chord song. Now, you may or may not know this, but over 70% of all the pop songs that have been made since 1960 have used the same 4 chords in the same order. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if I just learn that secret pattern of 4 chords in that order, I unlock hundreds of songs, which means I don't have to learn them one at a time. Now I'm going to demonstrate this. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to write in the comments when you recognize the song. Write the name of the song in the comments when you recognize it. Let's go. Now, what I'm going to do, by the way, first I'm going to play this very, very simply just to illustrate. And then I'm going to add those steps that we learned in Secret 1 to bring something to level 10 on piano. And you're going to see when you combine the Ridley method with these patterns, just how simple and fast this can be. Here we go. Write me the name of the song when you recognize it. My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel, but that I'm sure. And everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see a halo. Same chords. With or without you. With or without you. Oh, no. Same chords. Just gonna stand there, watch me burn. Same chords. It's too late to apologize. Same chords. And can you feel the love tonight? When I find myself in times of trouble, Mary comes to me. And now I'm going to add those steps. I'm going to make this level 10. And it's going to sound something like this, the same 4 chords, but adding all of those steps to make it level 10. The notes that fit, the finger work, everything, and we're going to get... With or without you. With or without you. Oh, no. And she will. She will be loved forever young. I wanna be forever young. That's what I'm talking about. Can you see the same 4 chords unlock song after song after song after song when we start combining this with a method that allows us to make, build into complexity? That's how in 10 minutes a day we start mastering this instrument. Now, this isn't some theory. This isn't some idea. This is something that I use literally every day. If you remember earlier, I said, 90% of music theory, I don't use it. All that stuff that I spent 20 years learning, I don't use it. And neither do any of the thousands of musicians. It doesn't make any sense. So this is something that you use every day. Some people call it playing by ear. It's recognizing these patterns. Now, I'll give you an example of this. Like a few months ago, I went to Italy to this place called the Amalfi Coast. And I played in this big hotel called Belmont, and it was a $15 million wedding. And they'd hired Bruno Mars and John Batiste and Anderson .Paak and me. And how this works at these kind of big things, I do these quite often, and you basically get about an hour to sound check, and that's it. And so I show up there, and this guy with big hair comes up, and that's a photo of us together. And he comes in, and right after this picture, he gives me a big piece of paper, and it's got all of the songs that they want me to play on it. And I've never even heard of some of these songs. What do I do there? I've got 1 hour. I've got to sound check and learn all of these songs. More than an hour of songs. Well, the way that I'm able to do it is by knowing these secret patterns. Because I know, it's just a 4-chord song. Great, yeah, cool, easy. And I just listen to them. Oh, yeah, that's that. Oh, yeah, they're using that other one. Oh, they're using this other one. And that's how this actually works, right? We have, the story of how I came up with this is also insane. I had a #1 record in Russia, and it was huge. And I went to do this show, 20,000 people. And the photograph that you see in front of you right now on the screen is about 20 seconds after I came off the stage. And one of the big sponsors of the event runs up to me and she gives me this big hug. And she's this multi-billionaire in Russia. And I put her down on the floor after I've picked her off the ground there. And I put her back down on the floor, and I look at her, and her eyes are full of life. And she says, I've wanted to play my whole life. My birthday's in 3 weeks. I want you to teach me how to play. I have 3 weekends. I'll give you $150,000. Can you do it? And I was like, yeah. And inside, I'm like, I don't know. And I sat down and I started fumbling on the piano, and I found these secret patterns one by one. And I thought, I think I can do this. And I showed up, and she didn't even show up the first weekend. She didn't even show up the second weekend. She shows up late on the third weekend. And I have now a day and a half to teach someone who's never touched a piano how to play. But because I have these secret patterns, because I can just show her these simple things that unlocks all of these different songs, in a day and a half, I got her not only to playing, I got her to playing good enough to go and perform at her birthday in front of all the people she loves the most. And not only that, she played so well. I was standing in the room, I watched it. She played so well that then everybody comes up and oh my God, I didn't realize you could play piano. And then she says on the microphone this story of how I taught her in a day and a half. And then everybody at the party looks at me, and then poof, and then all these other multi-billionaires start booking me to do the same thing. Wild story. That's the true story of how this thing got developed. And there's so many stories like this. This is this guy. His name is Matt Sawtell. You can find him on Instagram called Mr. Matt Music. Look, less than a year ago, he starts using the Ridley method. And at that point when I met him, he was sure he doesn't have time. And he really didn't have time. He runs 2 companies, and he divides his day into these 15-minute chunks. And, fair enough, he actually didn't have time. And I said to him, look, can you give me one 15-minute chunk? He's like, yeah, I can give you one. Oh, good, that's all I need. I just want to tell you his story because it just illustrates how fast this can be. In 6 months, he was having jam sessions at his house, other musicians coming around, and he's just jamming with them. Then he formed a band, and at 7 months, they start writing songs together. 8 and 9 months, he built a recording studio in the bottom of his house. They start recording music. At 10 months, he has a song. This is 2 months ago. He has a song on his Instagram that gets over 1 million hits. And then they start going out and play shows at weekends. And now he's the CEO of 2 companies. It's been less than a year. He's the CEO of 2 companies, and he goes out at weekends playing shows. And a year ago, he thought he didn't have time to be able to learn to play. This is a dream he'd had his whole life. Now, I'm only telling you this story to illustrate how fast this can be when you go into this 10 minutes a day and using the right technology, the right techniques. Does that make sense? So Until now, this has been quite intense, I understand. Until now, it's been pretty intense. And I've showed you three main things. I've showed you one, you need a great learning method with the perfect learning curve if you're going to become good fast. It's very precise. Two, I've showed you there's nothing wrong with you, which is great news. You just need specific exercises in the right order and you can overcome all your problems. You will not get stuck. It's very, very simple. And I've showed you that using these specific shortcuts, even if you have no time, you can start learning songs fast. And that's really the solution. So at this point, I have a question for you. And I want you to answer me in the comments. And my question is this: how many people here would like me to come into your life and be your instructor? How many people would like me to come into your life and for 10 minutes a day, I come in and I say, this is exactly what you need to do today to make the next little baby step of progress. And I show you how to do it, and you follow along, we do it together, and I guide you, and then we get you there, you have a big win, we enjoy it, and then we come back next time. And I will personally guide you from 0 to 10. Who would like to come on this adventure with me? Who would like goofy little English me to become your passionate instructor? The comments is very lovely. Thank you, Thorsten. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Sally John. My auntie's called Sally John. Is that my auntie? David, Patricia, Samantha, Shelley, thank you. That's beautiful. Well, you're in the right place at the right time, and definitely the right time of year. Because obviously, I can't do this with each one of you individually. There's like 3,300 people here. I have well over 1 million people in my email list. Another 600,000 on Instagram. I have a lot of people, and I want to reach everybody. So I created an online method, and it works better than a one-on-one lesson with me. That sounds crazy, but I want to show you how that's true, and I want to show you how you can learn with me, and I will personally take you from 0 to 10. So my plan is I'd like to show you that. It's going to take probably like 15 minutes. Then I'm going to do the live question and answer. We're going to do a Q&A together, and then we're going to do some songwriting together. This is something I just thought of. And I'm going to show you how to write songs, and we're actually going to write songs together, and you're going to be participating. We're going to write songs together. So that's the plan. Oh, yeah, and at the end, early Christmas present, everybody gets a book. That's the plan. Does that sound good? Very, very good. So, at this stage, let me show you how to get to level 10 for real. Introducing the Complete Piano Masterclass. This is how to become a level 10 pianist, fast, fun, and simple. So what is it? Well, it is a fully online program, and it works like this. You learn by watching one video at a time. So you're gonna log in, you're gonna have your own personal login, and you come in and there's a video, and that video is about 5 minutes long. And in that video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do on that day to make your next bit of progress. You're going to follow along, I'm going to guide you in how to do it, I'm going to get you to a win. You have a win, you enjoy it, and you come back next time. Now, you don't have to do this every day, by the way. You can do it multiple times per day, or you can do it, in a more scattered schedule. It's completely up to you. Your schedule is completely up to you. Your learning is entirely in your hands. Now, you can watch this from any device. You can watch it from a computer, a laptop, anything with an internet connection, a smartphone. You can be in front of the piano. You can be anywhere you want. Because in the beginning, you don't even need a piano. The first 2 weeks of this is done off the piano. One of the first lessons is I show you the difference between a piano and a keyboard and how to go and get one for yourself. It is fast. It is fun. And it is simple. It is those three things. They were the three pillars I built this whole thing on. And the reason is because I don't want to make music students. I don't want to make wooden people. Everything in this is designed for you to enjoy music from day one. Everything in this, I want to make you fall in love. I'm here to give you a passion, a fire for music. I'm going to give you something that you can't wait to do every day. Because the very nature of music is that. It's the soul. It's the most essential part of you. And so I teach in the direction of bringing this to life, fast, fun, and simple, and leaving you with a passion and a dedication and a craft. Now, this is going to include the 10 levels of piano. You're going to get all of the steps without missing any. And I'm going to take you from 0 to 10 with fun and joy. It's going to include all of the hand yoga. We did one exercise today. I'm going to show you all of the hand yoga exercises, and we are going to build those beautiful piano hands. It's going to include the secret patterns of music, so you can get playing songs really fast in those 4-chord songs. It's going to include all of that. You're going to be able to play any song you want. You don't need to start with classical. You can learn any genre and any song. It can be classical, blues, jazz, gospel, Latin, pop. Because I'm not teaching you how to play a song. I'm teaching you how to play piano so that you can play any song of your choosing. Does that make sense? That's how this works. Now, everything is explained incredibly simply. I'm not here to try and look smart. I'm not here to try and convince you I'm very intelligent. I'm here to bring music to life in you. I'm here to light a fire and show you how you can just erupt on this instrument. So you're not going to be spending years and years learning music theory that is just not needed. As I said before, 90% of music theory I've learned through personal experience is completely unnecessary. So instead, I'm just going to be showing you the concepts you absolutely need as you need them, bit by bit, not overwhelming, just tiny bit by tiny bit. I'm going to be showing you absolutely just the concepts you need to make progress that day, to make the next bit of progress, the next bit of progress. And that's how we're going to get there. Make sense? Now, after this course, you're going to be able to sight read. It means pick up a piece of music, read all those squiggles instantly, and play. You're going to be able to play by ear. You're going to be able to improvise. You're going to be able to improvise, make stuff up. You're going to be able to play with other people. You're going to be able to perform for other people and share your beauty. It works for any level. So whether you're a complete beginner or an intermediate, I'm going to take you to piano mastery faster than any other method. And it's going to be addictive. And it's not just me. I have a whole team here ready to serve you. There's over 30 staff around the world. And we have this one goal, and it is simply to get you there with some passion, with some enthusiasm, with some fun. So it's not just you by yourself. And you're not going to be in a rush. You're not going to be set on a schedule. Oh, God. No, you're going to have lifetime access to this. You can do this as many times as you like. You can do every video as many times as you like. And you can take as long as you want to get through this. So yeah, you can come in and just do multiple classes per day if you want. Or you can have it more spaced out. And if you're going on vacation, okay, cool. Your learning is entirely at your speed. Now, I've taken over 15,000 people through this program. And over 40 countries, these people, from 92 years old to 5 years old, all kinds of professions, religions, ethnicities. And I can tell you conclusively, it takes on average around 6 months to complete this with 10 minutes practice per day. But you can learn at your own speed. You can do this with family members, and I highly recommend it. It's coming up to Christmas. It's that period of time where we have a bit of family, we have a bit of time together. This is a wonderful thing to do with someone you love. Look, music's not sitting watching Netflix. It's not sitting there dying, doing nothing together. The very nature of music brings out the deepest parts of you. It brings out that soul. It's the sound of your soul. So to go on that journey with someone you love, I see this all the time. Over 30% of our students are doing this with their children or with their parents or with their husband and wife, with their boyfriend, girlfriend. And it's beautiful to see because it's an incredibly bonding thing that you're both going to remember for the rest of your life. And so I highly recommend doing that. And you can do that with your family members. You can do this on a piano. You can do it on a keyboard. It works with both. And it doesn't really matter if you don't have a piano or a keyboard right now. Because in this course, one of the first things I'm going to be showing you is how to get a piano for free or nearly free from anywhere in the world. I'm going to be giving you the best piano and keyboard recommendations also from every single price point, from $200 to $200,000. I'm going to be showing you how you find the right instrument for you, because it's a very, very personal thing. This is like getting married. You've got to find the one you love. So I'm going to be showing you how you do that, so you don't really need a piano to begin. Now, when you finish this, you are going to be certified. You're going to be a certified complete piano masterclass graduate. Now, let me just show you how this looks. If you sit there, I want you to see exactly what this looks like when you get in. So this is what it's going to look like. You're going to log in, and as you see here, this is your dashboard. It shows you exactly where you're at in your progress. You just click resume, and it takes you to your next lesson. Or you can review the last lesson. Here we have your personal login. It's got your own settings. It remembers your progress entirely. It's custom to you. And then just like this, step by step, I personally guide you. Oh, there we go. That's on to level 1. Now I'm going to do this. Right now we do this. Now we do this. You just click next, and I take you into it. 6-minute video, 5-minute video, 4-minute video. Have a big win. Make that improvement. Make that progress. Enjoy the win. And then we come back next time and we do it again. And that's how we do this, just step by step, win at a time. Win, 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 win. And that's why it's fun, because every day that you're sitting down on this, it's progress. It's getting better. And that becomes addictive because music's pretty powerful. Now, you're not going to be on your own. If you're sitting there like, but what if I have a question? You're going to have direct access to a live chat. And on that live chat, I have a full-time piano expert coach. This is somebody I've trained myself. They've been through the Ridley Academy. I personally trained them, and they're there to answer your questions 9 to 5 US time. Now, in addition to that, I also have 3 people on email support. So you're going to have an email support. You have questions. They're going to answer your questions too. Again, they're piano experts. They've been through this method themselves. So you're never going to be left alone. You're never going to be left with questions that you can't get answered. And we take you through this. We take responsibility to make sure that you have fun and progress. Now, it's because we do that we get the reviews that we get. And, we have people saying what people should be saying. Feeling pumped, empowered, loving this. 5 stars, wish I'd found this sooner. Excellent, love it. These people, by the way, they have nothing in common. They're from all over the world with very different jobs, different religions, different ethnicities. But they say the same thing because they're going through these same steps and they're having the wins of discovering music. I've waited all my life to learn music this way. Really rocks. He breaks everything down into understandable chunks. His enthusiasm and creativity shines through. Carrie, 5 stars. I wish I found something like this 20 years ago. It's definitely worth it. Laura, Ridley Academy is the best. How many times do you hear music students saying things like, Joanne live here. Every day I look forward to my next lesson. I'm loving being immersed in learning about piano and how to play it. This course is so easy to follow. We have Jay, the best teacher who knows how to teach. Claire Langloy there saying, I progressed more in the last 2 weeks than I did in the last 20 years. Bianca, wonderful methodology, great material. Impossible not to be motivated. And the reason it's impossible not to be motivated is because you're constantly making progress. Remember, motivation comes from that Latin word motare. It means to move. We keep you moving. We keep you progressing. And this goes on and on and on. And this is how a music student should sound. A dream come true. Great piano course. Simple. Clarity. This course will fast become the gold standard of how music is taught. This will save you years of frustration. Awesome course. Seriously recommend. Great content. 5-star experience. I'm addicted. Having never played piano in my life. It's fun. It's making me progress. Yeah, this is what our students say. It goes on. It goes on. It goes on. Now at this point, there is a question to ask. What did it cost me to get here, sitting in front of you today, in this chair? Like, just think about that. I wasn't born a piano player. I was born in a village with 40 people, and it was very confusing. And I was one day sitting where you're sitting. In fact, the only difference between me and you is this knowledge, literally. And so what did it cost me to get to this chair? Well, this slide was kind of shocking to make, but here it is. I went to a top music school for 14 years. That's $9,000 a year. And then I had private lessons for 6 years. Raw School of Music teacher, $110 a week. And when you add that up, $9,000 a year, $110 a week, when you put that in, that's $160,000. Now, my mom's a nurse in a government hospital. My dad was an engineer. We did not have a lot of money. And that's a lot of money for a family. What did we get in exchange for that huge investment? Well, I got 20 years of pain. I didn't get fast, fun, simple. I didn't get, oh my God, this is the best gym. I didn't get passion. I didn't get any of that. I didn't get a fire lit in me. I didn't get that personal connection. What I got was hell on a highway for 20 years. Now, I'm only bringing that up because today in this planet, with what is here right now, it will cost you the same. And I'm bringing that up because this is a reality I just want to put there. Contrary to any gimmicky thing that's like, this app, you just press a button and suddenly you can play. If you're truly going to want to get to level 10 in this world right now, well, I did it. And I can tell you what it costs. It costs that, $160K and 20 years of pain. And it's because of that I made the Ridley Academy. It's because of that situation that I created this class and that I created this whole thing. And it's why we all work so hard. Now, today, you're in the right place at the right time. Because if you didn't know already, it's Black Friday this week. Now, I needed people from all over the world today, so I couldn't go live on Friday. Instead, I'm going to be going live right now. And it's on a Sunday, so the most people can join. So we're doing Black Friday today. And I've not done Black Friday for 3 years. The school's only 3 years old. When I launched it, I did a Black Friday to kind of get the thing going. And then I've not done it since then. But we're going to do it this year. So I'm about to give you the best deal ever. Now, just to give you an idea, the last time I did a Black Friday, I'm going to make a deal right now that is 2 times better than that deal. Now, usually, the Complete Piano Masterclass is offered alone without any bonuses. But today, I'm going to make an offer, and it's going to be available for 1 hour. And we're just going to have some fun. We're going to go through this. I'm going to go in the Q&A. I'm going to write some songs together. But I'm going to make an offer that I've never made. And I'm not just going to discount the Complete Piano Masterclass. I'm also going to give you over $8,000 of bonuses for free. Because I've designed a package today of everything that you're going to need in the subject of music, from zero to literally the top. So who would like to know what these bonuses are? Well, here goes. The first thing I'm going to be giving you today in this Black Friday sale is a year's access to the Piano Mentorship Group. What is that? It is regular live question and answers with me. It's my private group. So you can go on there, ask questions, and I answer them. You have direct access to me on there. I share my progress and discoveries with other members. You have this constant source of motivation and feedback, because within this group now, there's a few thousand members in this group, and every single day people are posting their progress, and you can post yours. And look, we've got people get married in this group, fly across the world to live with each other. It's an incredible community going on this journey together, passionate musicians just unlocking our potential together. That's a very positive thing. Now, it's also going to include a 3-year library of all my best secrets, where I go into all sorts of things, recording music, like every subject you can imagine, because these are all the questions people have asked. So you're going to have a year's access to that. Now, normally that's $99 a month, but I'm going to be giving you a year for free with no auto-renewal. You're not going to get some random charge in a year's time. That doesn't occur. So you just get this free for a year. Bang. So that's the first thing you're going to get. Now, $99 a month times a year, that's $1,200 that I'm going to be saving you. And I'm only just getting started. Because how many people here, and you can let me in the comments, think, oh, if I could play, I'd love to sing at the same time. Well, I've found over 75% of our students, as they go through the Piano Masterclass, again, I've taken 15,000 people through this now, so I've seen these trends. Over 75% of people start wanting to be able to sing. So I'm also going to include my professional singing course. This is where I teach you how to play and sing at the same time. It's where I show you how to unlock your beautiful voice. Not sound like somebody else, but how to build power with your voice, how to control your voice, find your tone, extend that range from low to high. And I'm going to teach you how to sing with comfort and beauty and power. Now, normally, this is hell to learn. And I know, I was born deaf in one ear, and I was told I was tone deaf. And it was hell for me to learn how to sing, and I struggled and fumbled, and I didn't get anywhere. And so I became a professional piano player, and then it was really eating at me that I can't sing. So I went and I got the best teachers in the planet. I'm talking to the teachers that teach Justin Bieber, Beyonce, Usher, Adele, Ariana Grande. I work with these same teachers. These teachers, $600, $800, $1,200 for one session. And I did 4 sessions per week, 4 sessions per week for 18 months. So that was a tremendous, tremendous dedication. But I got there in the end. And again, with all of these things, I realized so much of this was overcomplicated and unnecessary. I'd spent $150,000 to get that information. I'm going to give you the same information in our Black Friday sale for free. And it ain't going to take you 18 months. It's going to take you a few weeks. And it's going to be fun. And again, you make progress every day because it's the same methodology. So that's going to save you $2,000. This is normally a $2,000 professional singing course. You're going to get lifetime access for free. And I'm still not finished, because I'm also going to be showing you how to write songs on piano. Why? Because again, over half of our students who go through this program start having that itch to express themselves on piano. How many people here? Yeah, how many people have had that feeling? Oh, I think I've got songs in me. Maybe you've written lyrics. Maybe you've hummed things one day. Maybe you've just felt that magic late at night. Well, I'm going to be showing you how you get that out. I'm going to show you how you improvise, how to write your own songs, how to unlock your creative ability and start composing songs in as little as 2 to 4 weeks. This is something you're going to do at the end of the Piano Masterclass. And because you've got that full understanding of music, it's very, very, very fast for me to teach you how to do this. Now, this is incredible, because the way that you learn songwriting on this planet is hell. And what would it cost me to learn this is, well, there was no good songwriting course. And I tried many. And ultimately, I got so frustrated that the way that I learned how to songwrite was to just songwrite. And I booked songwriting sessions with some of the best songwriters on the planet. And over the last 10 years, I've done about 700 songwriting sessions. I'm talking people like Owen Cutts, who did Amy Winehouse and Ed Sheeran, Fred Cox, who did Adele and Rag and Bone Man, Kevin Churko, 14 multi-platinum albums, David Wade, 6 Grammys. These are guys that are $5,000, $7,000, $12,000 for one session. And I've done 700 of these sessions. Now, I worked this out over 10 years. This is hideous. I spent over $600,000 to get this information, the same information I'm going to be giving you for free. And it ain't going to take you 10 years, and it ain't going to be difficult or complicated. This is a 2 to 4 week program. Pretty cool, right? Now, normally this is $2,000. I'm going to be giving you that for free, lifetime access in this Black Friday sale. And on top of that, I've got one more thing. And this is going to sound crazy. If you're sitting there right now, this is going to sound nuts. If you can't play right now, you're at level 0. What I'm about to say is going to seem crazy. But a lot of our students, when they get through this and they start being able to sing and play and write their own music, well, guess what? You kind of want to go and perform. You want to go play to people. You want to go build an audience, maybe. Maybe you want to post online. Maybe you'd like to get loads of views and build a big Instagram. I got 200 million views on my Instagram just last year. So I'm going to be showing you step by step how I went from the village to working in this big job in the city. I quit it. I pushed the piano into the streets. And I started from playing piano in the streets to playing now audiences of 20, 30,000 people. I'm going to be showing you exactly how I do that, how to get views and followers on social media, how to build connections and make money doing what you love, even if it's just a side hustle, right? Now, I know that might sound really, really crazy if you can't even play yet, but I'm giving it to you because so many of our students go in that direction. We've had so many of our students who have now released their own albums, who do shows, some of them have become full-time musicians. So what did it cost me to learn this? Well, there's no real school for this. So it cost me getting up and falling down and getting punched in the face a lot and trying these different seminars, marketing, communication, record labels, sales. And I spent over $100,000 and 10 years of pain to show you the same thing that I'm going to be giving you for free in a step-by-step guide. By the way, it's something that works for any entrepreneurial pursuit. So that's normally a $3,000 program. I'm going to be giving you that for free as well. So you add this up for over $8,000 of bonuses. That's what I'm talking about. So the $1 million question is, how much is it? Well, good. Normally, the price of my complete piano masterclass, if you go on my website, you probably know, is $3,000. And we have that every day. People buy that, and it's the Rolls Royce of music education. Now, today, it's not going to be $3,000. Today, I'm going to be doing the biggest discount I've ever done in this academy's history. And it's going to be 2 times better than what I did in the last Black Friday. And if we look at this, I'm going to be giving you over $11,000 of product. So you're going to be getting lifetime access to the complete piano masterclass. That's normally $3,000. You're going to be getting a year's access to my personal mentorship group. That's going to save you $1,200. I'm going to give you the professional singing course. That's going to save you another $2,000. I'm going to give you how to compose songs on piano. That's normally $2,000 again. How to make it as a musician. That's a $3,000 program. I'm going to be giving you everything that you need. And this is over $11,000 of product. So how much is it? Well, it's not going to be costing you the $160,000 it cost me to learn piano. And it ain't going to be taking you the 20 years either, all the pain. It ain't going to be costing you the $150,000 I spent learning how to sing. It's not going to be costing you, if you add up all of these numbers, for me to get in this chair today, it's taken over $1 million and 30 years. It ain't going to cost you $1 million. It ain't going to take you 30 years. This is on average a 6-month program. It's a journey. It's an adventure. And it ain't $1 million. And it ain't painful. It's fast and it's fun. It's not even going to be $3,000. I'm about to launch an offer. Now, I'm just going to say this before I launch it. We're doing this for Black Friday. We're doing it for 1 hour only, and then it's done. And I'm only saying that because last time, the reason I didn't do Black Friday for 2 years is because so many people got upset when I did do the Black Friday, because I did it, and then loads of people didn't get it, and then they started writing me emails for months and months. Oh my God, I wish you'd get it, blah, blah, blah. They were writing to me on Instagram, and it just kind of got really messy. And the reason was because I didn't make it very, very clear. So I'm making it very, very, very clear right now. I'm about to do a deal which I've never done, and it's going to last for 1 hour, and then it really is over. So I'm going to do it. But please don't hate me after the fact. It's here for an hour and then it's done. So without further ado, I'm not going to be doing it for $1 million. It's going to be 200,000. I'm going to be 100,000. I'm going to be $3,000 because today I'm going to be doing over 90% discount for Black Friday. I'm going to be doing $13.97, one-time payment. You pay once. That's it. No more payments again in the subject of music. And what you're going to get in exchange for that is the adventure of a lifetime. You're going to have a vacation over the next 6 months with me where every single night we go on a journey. So if you want to sign up, this is very, very, very simple. Now, just to let you know, this is a one-time payment. You're not paying over and over. This is not a subscription. You're not going to get charged again next year. You pay once, and you'll have the rest of your life with music. This is a skill which you're going to enjoy more and more and more and more as life goes on. And that's what we're talking about. So how do you get this? It's very, very, very simple. If you look on the offer button, there is an offer thing there. You click on that and it comes up with the bundle. You click add to cart and it's going to take you to our secure checkout page. It's the same checkout page, by the way. Amazon, Apple, we're using the same stuff. Now, on that page, you can pay with any card. I'm talking Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Amex, any credit card, any debit card, PayPal, even PayPal credit if you're in the right country. And when you sign up, you're going to get instant access. By the way, sometimes instant access goes to your junk mail, so make sure that you're checking that. And when you sign up, I want you to shout, I want you to write in the comments in big words, in big letters, I'm in, exclamation marks. And then I'm going to shout you out, I'm going to shout out your name, and I'm going to welcome you. I'm also going to bring Serge on to do the same. If you don't see the offer, by the way, it's right there. It's on the chat. If you're on a phone, you need to scroll up and see the chat, and you will see this offer button. You need to click on that little arrow, and it's going to bring up the offer. There's a green button. Hit that button. You have an hour to get this. Now, at this point, as you're sitting there, there's going to be a couple of choices. So let's just talk this through. Let me help you kind of mull over this decision. Option number one is you can continue to struggle. We can do nothing. And we do nothing, and you're going to get the same thing that we've had for your whole life. And you're not going to be learning piano, or you're going to try and you're going to learn with this difficult, boring way, and 97% of you, by statistics, are going to fail. And it's going to suck. And that sucks. Or come on a journey with me. Let me into your life and let me be your piano teacher. Let me show you a brand new way to fall in love with this instrument and truly make progress every single day. And let me take you to level 10 on an adventure like no other. Now, if you're sitting there and you're like, it's scary. What if it doesn't work? Then let me take all of the risk out of this, because I'm not going to give you a 30-day guarantee. I'm not going to give you a 7-day guarantee. I'm going to give you a lifetime fail-proof guarantee. Now, what does that mean? It's very, very simple. You sign up today, you take advantage of the best price I will ever do on this program. You follow the course, follow along with it, do this program, enjoy the program. If you get to the end of this program and find that it didn't work, if you get to the end of the program and find that you're not satisfied, I will give you your money back whenever. In 5 years, in 7 years, in 15 years, it doesn't matter. Now, the reason I'm doing that is very, very simple. I'm going to be very, very transparent. First of all, this is not a 30-day program, so a 30-day guarantee makes no sense. This is, on average, about a 6-month program. It's a beautiful, beautiful journey, and I don't want you rushing it. I don't want you panicked. I don't want you sitting there like, but 30 days. I don't want any of that. I want you to just be able to buy this with confidence and know that it works. Know that I'm taking responsibility for your success so that you can learn with a peace of mind. I spent so much time and effort and care to make this a journey which is impassioning and joyful and is in the spirit of love. And so I wanted also the process of it to be fun and easy, and to know that you have that security and I've got your back. Now, I'm very, very, very willing to do that, because as it says here, over 10,000 students, almost 15,000 students now have been through this program. Guess how many people finish this course and say, it didn't work? Guess how many in 3 years? 0. Compare that to the 97% quit rate in music. That's why this is a revolution. That's why I get excited by it. That's why I'm sitting here with you right now on Sunday, the 19th of November, getting so passionate about this, because this is a game-changing thing. So for all of you signing up, please write I'm in the comments in big letters. I'm going to shout you out. Serge, I know you're here. I'd love it if you can shout some people out and help me moderate. And then
yes, absolutely. It's Black Friday, and we got Lauren Tent, Germana, Jason, Kelly, Deborah, Deanne, Rose, Wendy, Judy, Randall. A lot more people that haven't called. We got Jonathan, Callie Farren, Caroline, Verena, Langen. We have Daniel Mason, Petra Frank, Trina Mastron, Richard Ferguson, Christian Merle, Verenity Langen, Stephanie Schaffhausen, Wilf Niklas, and so many much more. It's Black Friday. You're going to change your life on Black Friday.
I've just seen in the comments here as well. I'm seeing, I see Sally. I see, wow, the computer's going crazy. Richard. I see Diane. I see Wilf. I see Tyler Dew. I see Kyson. I see Anne. I see Phoenix. I see Ardette. Vincent,
it's crazy. We got Cheetah, Constance, Omar, Linda,
Phoenix,
Sophie, Riza, Malik, Dennis, Kate, Jerry. All right, it's Black Friday. This is the one time in this year where you can grab this and change your life.
So
I see it every day.
Now, if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. Let me make this very, very, very simple. First of all, let's just look at some alternatives here. You came on the right day. It is Black Friday. I mean, look, people buy this all the time. Just the piano course at $3,000, over 15,000 people. You know why? Because here's the alternative: $160,000. Now, it's hard to notice because $100 a week, $100 a week, $100 a week. Yeah, times it by 20 years, and that's what you get. And what do you get for that? You get hard, disciplined, and boring. So $160K versus $13.97. Hard, disciplined, and boring versus fast, fun, simple, enjoyable, passionate. 20 years. Pain versus 6 to 12 months of just pleasure, coming home every day and having something to look forward to, having an activity, not sitting and dying on Netflix, but having an activity which you can come and expand and get better, having an activity you can go and share with the world. Not just learning piano, but also learning singing and composing and making it as a musician. And you better believe that traditional piano lessons do not be giving you any guarantee, because with a 97% quit rate, they can't give a guarantee. They would go out of business. Well, I do give a lifetime guarantee. I say you go through this program, you finish the program, and if you're not completely satisfied, I give you your money back. And I do that because I know it works, because I'm not trying to hide, and because I have full confidence. So let me take completely the risk out of this for you and jump on board, and let's go on our venture together. I'm seeing Linda is in, Petra right now.
Yes, Anna. Stephen, Megan, Stephanie, Kate, Chris, Charmaine, Stacy, Laurie, Walter, James. Absolutely crazy. It's Black Friday, and a lot of people are changing their life.
Super.
So we're going to learn the piano for real.
Yeah, for real. And by the way, I want to put this in perspective. There's a couple more slides that I want to go through, and then we're going to go into a live question and answer. I want you to ask all the questions you want. I'm going to answer all of your questions. So if you're Patricia, I just saw your comment. Pamela, Margarita, I just saw you're in. You're in. Welcome. Dan from Quebec, hello. I just want to put this in perspective. Look, if you're going to go with traditional lessons, I mean, I Googled it right before we went live. Los Angeles, right now in LA, you're going to be spending $120 to $150 an hour. And you're going to be doing that week after week after week after week. And if you're somehow able to keep going with it, well, that adds up. It adds up and it adds up and it adds up. It's $7,800 per year. So $7,800 this year, $7,800 next year, and then the inflation and inflation. And eventually, you're going to pay a lot of money. And 97% of you aren't going to get it. Now, let's put this in perspective. If you divided this over 5 years, we're talking about $5, less than $5 a week. Right? But that is not really, it's the wrong way to think about this. It's the wrong way to think about this like some, this isn't an iPhone. This isn't this. We're not buying like stuff. I'm not asking you to consume something here. I'm not asking you to just, you know what I mean? Like everything that people buy in the world is just got such a short pleasure. You buy a phone, you feel good for 5 minutes and it's over. You buy furniture or a washing machine or a car. It feels good for like 20 seconds. You go on a vacation, it's great for a few days, and then that's it. It's back to life. We're not talking about this. This is not a product. And I just kind of want to help you think about this clearly, because it's something a lot of students become aware of when they start going through this program. The closest thing you are buying something which makes you better. You're buying a better future. You're giving yourself a skill and a journey that you can look forward to, but you're building a skill, and that skill is a skill that allows you to connect with the world. I mean, Serge knows. Serge, we were together in Paris not so long ago, and I mean, he'll tell you a story later, but my life is going around, sitting in rooms, playing the piano, and then instantly making 200 friends. Is being able to go around. The way that I built a music career is I just went into spaces and played. I played in the streets. I played in bars. I played in restaurants. I played anywhere I could play. And every single time I was meeting friends and meeting connections. And, oh, hey, come to New York and play here. Oh, come and crash at my place in Italy. We can play there. And I just did show here, show there, show there. Last month I played the King of Norway. Just got booked today to go. I'm going to be playing for the wealthiest man in Kazakhstan. These are random events, but they come because I can play. And life opens because you can play. And you feel what it's like to be able to go and put beauty into the world, to sit in a train station and play. You got Christmas coming up. You got about 6 weeks. Christmas is going to be there. You can be playing with your family. You know what I mean? Like, that's music.
It's crazy, and it's really being able to create the effect you want. I see it every day on the Ready Academy. People are blown away. I want to welcome a lot of people. It's Black Friday. People are changing their life on Black Friday, and this is going to truly help change your future forever. So I want to welcome Ralph, Mint, Hazel, Madeline, Rebecca, Judy, Lorna, Bettina, Norbuska, Mary. So many other people are changing their lives today.
That's awesome. I'm in from France. I can see in the comments there, Serge, I know the French. Vive la France! I see Tanesha. I'm in the comments. David Isham. I'm in the comments. I love that. So if you're sitting there and you've had this dream for a while, I'm talking to all the people that have, I don't really know. Let me ask you a question. How long have you been wanting to do this? You can write in the comments if you want. It's going to be brave. How long have you wanted to play? How long have you wanted to unlock that potential that's inside of you? You must know that you have the potential. You wouldn't be here right now if you didn't know that you had that potential for greatness. And I can guarantee something. It is not if, it's when. Life is short. Life is short. How long do you want to sit there with a dream? How do you want to sit there wishing one day, maybe, until maybe it's too late? Money replenishes. You're always going to make more money. Next week, you're going to make money. Next month, you're going to make money. Next year, you're going to make more money. The money is always going to keep coming in, but time does not. And we have this moment, and we're here. And the reason I'm doing this, I love Black Friday. I wanted to do Black Friday the last 2 years, by the way. I was just very scared because so many people attacked me because it ended, and they missed it, and they didn't say yes. And please don't be in that situation. I'm doing this often. I'm excited to do it because I want to bring as many people in as possible. And I want to do that now because you can have fun now. You can go on the journey now. You can conquer that now. You can start just very easily, step by step. It's not overwhelming. It's just a little bit of extra joy that comes in your life every day. And then without you even realizing it, in the coming weeks, oh my God, I'm writing my own songs. Oh my God, I'm playing. And you can become like all of our other students that just get that richness of life. That's what we're talking about. So let's just look at this. If we like Vincent says, my lifetime, I wanted to play. Wolf, 60 years, 5 years, 6 years, says Jonah. Brenda White says, I'm in. Let's go. Merci pour la France, says Jean-Eric. Hazel, I'm in. Welcome, Hazel. Look, if you're sitting there, if all this did was teach you how to play piano, I'm talking... You're sitting there and all you wanted to do is play piano. If all that did was give you that, can you see that's worth it, right? It's probably, if you look at the rest of your life, it's like less than a penny